was a dream that took place in Twin Peaks, Agent Cooper's dream. It took place 25 years into the future. This 25 years was mentioned in this dream. Cooper was looking 25 years older in the dream, and the dream took place in the Red Room. This 25 years seemed to stick, and in the final episode, Laura Palmer says, "I'll see you again in 25 years." But no one knew that that was really going to take place. But strangely, 25 years after the series ended, it did take place, as if it was fate, you know, all along.
Zaczęliśmy od wypowiedzi Davida Lyncha i właściwie zaraz znowu damy mu głos. Ja jestem tutaj tylko na chwilę, żeby zrobić wprowadzenie i wytłumaczyć Wam, o czym będzie dzisiejszy odcinek. A dzisiaj będziemy właściwie dawali głos wyłącznie Davidowi Lynchowi, który był gościem festiwalu Camerimage w tym roku. Był w Bydgoszczy, był w Toruniu, przyjechał jako twórca filmowy, ale również jako malarz. Mało osób wie o tym, że David Lynch jest malarzem i to jest w ogóle jego pierwszy wybór, jeśli chodzi o karierę artystyczną, i mimo tego, że zrobił przez lata bardzo dużo różnych innych rzeczy pod kątem artystycznym, to pozostał malarzem i w Toruniu, w CSW otwierał chyba największą jak dotąd wystawę swoich prac, swoich obrazów, fantastyczną, zatytułowaną Silence and Dynamism. Zresztą jeżeli jesteście jej ciekawi, to do lutego możecie jeszcze pojechać i ją odwiedzić. I naprawdę Wam polecam, między innymi dlatego, że David Lynch ma bardzo spójne uniwersum i w każdej dziedzinie sztuki właściwie mówi tym samym językiem, więc im lepiej poznacie obrazy Davida Lyncha, tym lepiej będziecie w stanie zrozumieć to, co robi w filmach czy serialach. Lynch nie udzielał indywidualnych wywiadów, ale my byliśmy z kamerą i na konferencji prasowej, i na Q&A z fanami, które się odbyło w Bydgoszczy. No i zrobiliśmy dla Was taką kompilację najciekawszych jego wypowiedzi z tych dwóch spotkań. Zresztą nadawaliśmy troszkę też na bieżąco na naszym Facebooku, robiliśmy jakieś live'y, wrzucaliśmy jakieś zdjęcia, ale tutaj teraz znajdziecie taką esencję tego, co się wydarzyło wtedy. Jeżeli macie jakiekolwiek wątpliwości dotyczące tego trzeciego sezonu Twin Peaks, jeżeli chcecie wiedzieć, czy będzie czwarty sezon Twin Peaks, jeżeli szukacie ścieżki interpretacji tego, co robi Lynch jako reżyser, to myślę, że po obejrzeniu tego materiału będziecie dużo bliżej znalezienia odpowiedzi.
I just saw the exhibition here. I have to say, I was really impressed. The exhibition is beautifully put together. I can't remember doing half the things in the exhibition, and I think sometimes it's really important to see older work. It can inspire something for the future. So I would like to see the exhibition again. I've been painting all along, in between working on films or other things. I love painting. When you're away from it for a while, it's sometimes slow to get back into that world, and that's where I am right now. I'm starting to paint again, but finding it, you know, I'm just slowly getting back into what would be the next thing for me.
Miejsce, w którym jesteśmy, to jest CSW w Toruniu. Wystawa, już w tym momencie mogę Wam powiedzieć, jest absolutnie fantastyczna, jest niesamowita, jest taka interdyscyplinarna, bo są tutaj wszelkiego rodzaju prace Lyncha, zarówno obrazy, jak i jego szkice, fotografie, kolaże, prace audiofoniczne, jego filmy, jego krótkie metraże. Jest tu naprawdę wszystko. Sala, w której się w tym momencie znajdujemy, to jest ostatnia sala z tej całej wystawy. Sala, którą odkryliśmy na samym końcu, ponieważ ona jest ukryta za czerwoną kotarą, więc jeżeli będziecie tutaj w Toruniu na wystawie, to koniecznie wchodźcie za każdą czerwoną kotarę, bo za każdą z nich kryje się coś nowego, coś innego. Oczywiście podczas konferencji najwięcej pytań dotyczyło tego nowego, trzeciego sezonu Twin Peaks, a także ewentualnych perspektyw na to, żeby powstał sezon czwarty.
Twin Peaks isn't just one thing. There's many things in this new Twin Peaks 2017 that carry over from the old. And there's new things. So it's a continuing story, but it's all Twin Peaks. Just as simple as that. There's always experiments going on to get the idea to feel correct. That's the only experimenting. The reason for it is to keep working till you hit the thing that feels correct. It's not, it's a film that's 18 hours long, and it's part of the continuing story of Twin Peaks. I like, again, these ideas come, and then later, when you put the ideas, the fragments together, and a story starts emerging, you realize, oh, there's some very good people in this story, and there's some very bad people in this story. And it's sort of a surprise. The Showtime people were very great to work with. They gave me total freedom, and were very good about that, and they were very happy with what came out. So it was a good thing all the way around with working with Showtime. As far as a continuation, there's nothing to say about that right now. I haven't seen any films for quite a while because I was working on Twin Peaks and there's not that much time, but when I do have time, it's true, I like to watch these shows where they customize cars. I like stories that hold concrete things, non-surrealistic things, and abstract things. And sometimes the abstract things can be taken for surrealistic things. But I just like translating ideas to different mediums and not worry about names. And I like films, for instance, that hold different genres in one film. So there's not one genre film. Sound is one of many elements, and it's super important. I think sometimes sound is even more than half of the film. And sound, I always say, there's specific sound effects like a door closing or footsteps, and then there's sounds that approach music. And all these things are tools to get that mood and get that feeling, and they all have to marry to the picture, and so it is a kind of an experiment. And also in sound, I always say how the sound comes in, where it comes in and how it comes in, how it moves, a little bit louder, a little bit softer, a little bit more, and how it goes out. All these things are so important. You work on them until they feel correct and they are true to the idea that came. I think everybody's had the experience that 25 years pass, some things are definitely different, but some things remain the same. And it was our experience, people from the original series came back. Not only are they're like family, but they seemed a bit older, but they were themselves. It was like no time had passed, really. It was really beautiful. Television and cinema, to me, are exactly the same thing, telling a story with motion pictures and sound. So it ended up being 18 hours, and after an hour goes by, that's the first part, and then the next hour goes by, that's the second part. And, but it could be seen as an 18-hour film altogether. There's nothing to talk about right now for season 4. I wrote a screenplay based on Franz Kafka's Metamorphosis, but afterwards I realized that it should, I think, remain a beautiful book, not a film. I've said this before, the quality of celluloid film is extraordinarily beautiful. But there's so many advantages of working in digital, and digital is getting better every single day. To me, this is very beautiful and fulfills the mood and look of Twin Peaks. I did work with Kyle on these different characters, but Kyle had these people in him, and Kyle just did an unbelievably beautiful job delineating at least 4 different characters in Twin Peaks, the new season. And I think when Kyle was playing Dougie, you know, Dougie gets a lot of help from people. And I'm sure Kyle got extra food and drinks and taken care of really nicely when he played Dougie. We can't talk about Judy, but we could say that the practice of transcendental meditation gets rid of negativity. First of all, there wouldn't be any new Twin Peaks if it weren't for the fans. So the fans are part of the world of Twin Peaks. The fans understand Twin Peaks, and they live in that world as much as I live in that world. And Twin Peaks has a great bunch of fans. They're a particular way. They're very intelligent, and they're very energetic, and they're very loyal. And I love them to pieces. In Twin Peaks, as you know, there's the Roadhouse. And in the Roadhouse, there's a stage, and different bands play music on the stage. So it was a perfect opportunity to have different bands come into Twin Peaks and play the Roadhouse. Many pieces of music were submitted, and the engineer in my studio, Big Dean Hurley, organized a whole bunch of things to play for me, and I got to make the final selection of those bands in this season of Twin Peaks. I met Angelo on the film Blue Velvet, and Angelo is just a fantastic human being and composer, as you all know. But Angelo likes lyrics. So I'd be writing lyrics and then sitting with Angelo and talking to him about lyrics, and, you know, songs would come out of Angelo, music would come out of Angelo. And one of these things was a song called Falling. And this song was made with Julie Cruz singing. Woo! And so along about that time, I started working with Mark Frost and started writing Twin Peaks, the pilot. And I told Angelo and Julie, this song is going to be the theme song for this new show called Twin Peaks. And they thought, what? How is this? You know, what is this? And that's what happened for some reason. And then the bass guitar, there's a guy named Dwayne Eddy who played a bass guitar, fantastic guitar player in the 50s. And I wanted this bass guitar. It's a guy named Kenny Landrum had a synth with this bass guitar on it. And Kenny could bend these notes and get this synth to be a fantastic, beautiful bass guitar. And that's what went in to this song Falling, and which later the instrumental became the theme for Twin Peaks. Engineer Big Dean Hurley was given that piece of music. He played it started talking to me when it was low and slow. And it seemed so powerful, and a whole feeling came through that seemed right for this, what you said, for the scenes. Remixes, at first when I heard about remixes, I thought, you know, this is maybe not right to remix people's music, but it is okay, I think, for a variation on the theme, and sometimes a new thing that can come out that's thrilling if you have their permission to do it. Right now, I feel, I've said this before, the feature film is in somewhat of trouble. And as an example, if Fellini released 8.5 today, it would play in big cities for maybe a week and then end up on pay-per-view. The art houses are pretty much gone, and a different kind of films are played in the theaters, and I feel that cable television is the new art house, and not only for feature films, but for a continuing story. So I'm kind of more excited about cable television and still hoping that the quality of the picture and the sound gets better. I always say the same thing. The film is, to me, sacred. You work so hard over a long period of time to get a thing to feel correct. Every single element, the whole thing. And one day you say it's finished. It's just the way it's supposed to be. And in our world, as soon as it's finished, people want you to start talking about it. And I say nothing should be added to this. Nothing should be subtracted. It is what it is. And people are free to interpret it any way they want. It's just like life. We see life, but people have different ideas about it. But it doesn't do any good for me to say anything. It is what it is, and it was worked on to be that way, and that's it. Very happy to be here with you all, and Bidgosh and Dziękuję. Thank you.